Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about something kind of random, but also very true. I rewatched Arrow, and if you don't know what Arrow is, it's a TV show that started, I want to say, 2011, 2012-ish, and then ended right around 2019, 2020. But, I watched the entire show over again. The first time was when it was originally aired, but I didn't really see the whole thing. I only saw like bits of episodes, and I only saw some because some of my relatives watched it, and it was connected to other shows like The Flash. That's why I knew some of it, you know. And I realized something, and the first time I watched it was during 2020, obviously, but I didn't remember much of that because most of that time I was just kind of rewatching it just because I wanted to see what all the hype was about or whatever. Nothing too much going on there, at least to my knowledge that I can remember from that time. And then this year I rewatched it again. The second time was like for lore reasons, you know. It was specifically for like knowing how does this develop this world. But this time I watched it purely for nostalgia. Almost purely for nostalgia. And I say almost because I still didn't remember much of it until I rewatched it. And then I rewatched it and I'm like, oh yeah. And they do have a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. I mean, there is some controversial stuff in it because, you know, it's a superhero show. Nothing's exactly picture perfect, but it worked really well, you know, like for example, uh one of their controversial characters, sort of, well, controversial at least for my time, well, the time that I can remember, was Curtis, which was a gay guy. But the thing is, even though he's gay, he's one of those characters who just like, he's in the storyline. He was a main character for a while. He was a really good character, and he just so happened to be gay, rather than, you know, how they do some shows nowadays where they make it pretty much like them being gay as if that's all they are and that's all they should be, is just gay no matter what. You know, like make them all sassy 24/7. Like, bro, that's not reality, which made sense on why I watched it. You know, like, he's such a good character that you can pretty much forget that he's gay and just accept the Mr. Terrific part, because, yeah, he just so happened to be black and gay. But, yeah, he was, I don't know if he was like a race swapped, sexuality swapped character. It seems pretty cool and original to me, even if it's not. Then there was Wild Dog, that was fine. Then there was Canary, Black Canary, I think it was. Um, that was good. Uh, some weird stuff, but it didn't really make sense to make the character William gay, though, because it's not to say that, oh, well, like, I'm hating gays. Like, if you watch the story, you know that he's in love with, well, in love, I guess, with, that one girl, but it only happens in, like, the future. Zoe, I think that character's name is, at least for those two characters, because at the end of, there's, like, a scene where, this Zoe character or whatever, which is Wild Dog's daughter, I think, well, yeah, But there was a different timeline where she ends up dying, and she said, "Tell William I love him." And that was kind of tragic. I mean, they did the whole multiverse thing and resurrected him as if they never died to begin with, but it was very interesting, and it's like it doesn't make any sense that he was like kind of still gay in the end, but I think that weared off. Something showed, but I think that's going to be showed on another TV show possibly. But I don't know. It's a bit strange, but we can rock with it. It's not exactly all over, but nothing really much happened. But I guess they did need to like figure out their time stuff. But it kind of sucked. I recently just shaved, that's why I'm touching myself a lot on my face. But of the recording of this video. But they just ended it all almost. Kind of like it was similar to how The Flash ended, where it ended but it never truly ended. Like in the Arrow it did end, but it ended like as if nothing would continue almost, you know? Like they shut down the whole thing, they stopped doing it as if crime is just gonna stop completely or something. Like, no. Crime's gonna keep going. It's never gonna stop, because if you don't have good, you're not gonna have bad, but if you have bad, you're gonna need good, but if you have good, you're gonna need bad, because one gets over the other in order to win both ways. And it works, but the thing is about it is it's just like give us a hint, at least a hint of what would be like another show, and like target multiple individuals or random people, maybe like, oh, this character, like they should have got that John Diggle character at least to be a temporary Green Lantern or something, and like pass it on to another generation in that show. And what I mean by pass it on to another generation, I mean like start a Green Lantern show and then pass it on to that character, and then they just become like the Green Lantern and then go with that. But no, that got cut off. Oliver Queen dies because, you know, the multiverse stuff or whatever. He dies physically, and because of it, he can't do much of anything. But it was a really good show. And then there were all sorts of other stuff, like all the crossover episodes, and for this show, if it wasn't for this show, the current Flash would not even exist. Literally before the Flash was the Flash, because back then it was more of like potential TV show. They had him on Arrow, I think in like the 3rd or the 4th season, and then sometime after that they had some trials and groups with the 9 months in between of when he was knocked out in the storyline. And then I want to say 4th, maybe 5th season of Arrow, Flash was just getting into its development or whatever. But there was also some scary characters, you know. There was Damien Dark. There was, what was his name? Diaz. and other stuff like that. But yeah, I rewatched it on Netflix. Well, it's still around. I don't know if it's still around by the time you're watching this video. I mean, it probably will be at the time of this post or release of this video, but it most likely won't be in whatever future you're living in, probably, because for all I know, I could be talking to someone decades, possibly even centuries in the future. But there's even farther future for you, so there's that. Anyway, let's see. There was that, and then, like I said, it was the whole multiverse thing, so it was crazy. There were some crossover episodes that I didn't get to see because of it. That's why I watched all this stuff. But yeah, I've seen Black Lightning. I've seen Legends of Tomorrow. I've watched all those shows. And even though Black Lightning has the least amount of seasons for the shows I'm talking about, it's so slow, but it kind of makes sense for what it is. And then, like I said, there was Legends of Tomorrow, then Supergirl, then The Flash, and I would say that's the most popular series from that franchise. And Arrow's in second place. It's more of like the downtown of TV shows, you know, like it's in that downtown area, like it's in that kind of conversation. It's not in like the main city area, you know, like watching The Flash feels like the main city area, you know, because of what it is. I mean, it's not like the best thing to ever exist, but it is pretty good. Supergirl I only watched again for lore reasons. Let's see. Did I watch anything else? No, maybe that's Superman and Lois, but even then I'm not really gonna use the CW site because they give you like 6 ads every 3 to 5 minutes, you know? And it gets annoying really quickly. Like, really quickly. Well, anyway. Yeah, there's not too much to talk about at the moment. They are kind of on the verge of starting a new universe. I mean, you could technically say they already started one, but it's not there yet. I feel like this might be the 2014 for 2024 might be the 2014 for this universe right now, because it's like when all the peak shows either started or ended on that year. Like, I remember that year, and a lot of great shows were on their last season, and a lot of great shows were on their first season before they were, like, after those other shows were in their peak, and before these shows were in their peak. So I feel like if they were to start a universe between 2023 to 2026, somewhere around that range, all these shows are going to start, but most likely it's probably not going to be in its peak until maybe even somewhere in the next decade, or just maybe at the end of this decade, but who knows. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on for too much. I was trying to make this like a 5-minute video, but I kept talking, so it's whatever. Anyway, yeah, I watched Arrow from the CW. That one that started in like 2012. From 2012 to 2019. Anyway. I'm going to post this and whatever else, I guess. Anyways, see you later. Bye.